Welcome back to Power Play. As we were just discussing with the front bench moments ago, a new report shows the consequences of Donald Trump proposed tariffs of 10% on all imports could have a huge impact on this country's economy. The report from the Canadian Chamber of Commerce estimates that incomes in this country would fall by 1.5%, productivity would drop by 1.6%, and the ensuing trade war could also result in roughly $1,100 in lost income annually for people on both, yes, on both sides of the border. To talk more about this and how the federal government and provincial governments are navigating that possibility, David Paterson is with us now. He's Ontario's representative in Washington, D.C., and the former chair of the board of the Canadian Chamber of Commerce. Hi, Mr. Paterson. Good to see you again. Thanks for making the time.
Hi, Vassy. It's good to see you, too.
I bet this report didn't say anything that you didn't already know. How seized are you in this role with navigating the possibility of a policy like this one, or this one even specifically?
Sure. I mean, I did actually have a chance to take a quick look at the report. I always like seeing what the chamber is putting out, and I think it's useful. And it summarizes a lot of the types of information that are out there. And quite properly, you can look at all kinds of scenarios, including 10% tariffs. We've got 100% tariffs on EVs coming in from China, et cetera, et cetera. So we're in a new world. And it's coming in the context of some other good reports. There's a report that came out from the Public Policy Forum in the Monk School called Matter More, which I actually almost prefer because it's more of a forward-looking, what are the opportunities for us going forward? And I think what we see down here every day, I'm in Washington, I'm on the Hill every day talking to people on both sides of the aisle. And, there is a big change if you step back. And in the world, in terms of trade, in terms of China's role in the world, we're going to be building an economy here in North America for the next 20 years. And we in Ontario are going to have a huge opportunity in doing some of those things. And so, yes, we have to work through these things. But when I'm actually in meeting with senators, meeting with Congress people, meeting in the White House, the focus is actually on what we can do after the IRA, for instance, trillions of dollars here in the United States into infrastructure. How can we build on that? And so I think there's as much opportunity as there is threat. And we should be looking at the opportunities.
And I do take your point on that. The difference is, however, if Donald Trump gets into office, he has pledged to roll back the entirety of the IRA and many of the standards that are associated with it that have prompted a lot of the industrial development that kind of comes alongside it. When you talk about those meetings that are taking place, how frequently are they with people in Trump's orbit, and how receptive would you assess they are to the message you're delivering about the potential opportunity of working with Canada?
Sure. Well, I'll give you an example. I've met with a dozen Republican House members just in the last 2 weeks, members of the Finance Committee, the Speaker's office, the Whip's office. We've met with people that are close to the teams on this, and there's as much focus on opportunity because at the end of the day, we're going to have to grow the economy in the auto sector. We've made huge investments in red states and in blue states. We're going to need all the critical minerals that we have. We're going to need a lot more electricity, and so their interest to us in Ontario is how can you help us with those types of things. Frankly, very little discussion around tariffs. We can raise it, but it's sort of a hypothetical inside a hypothetical at this point. Doesn't mean you don't study it. Doesn't mean you're not prepared for it. But what we are best to do in terms of being able to have influence here is to come with a solution. And I think that's what, for instance, this Matter More report focuses on, very aligned with the kinds of things that we do. We work closely with the embassy and others, but I think if we, focus on the nail, everybody wants to be a hammer. And so let's focus on what we can do to get past that. And I see a lot of receptivity in Republican circles for us to sort of grow together.
Republican circles or Donald Trump circles?
Well, you can tell me how to unscramble those eggs. We need to work with everybody, and we're working on both sides of the aisles. But the Republican Party is very interested in China. All conversations begin and end with national security. And so the ability to build an economy that is using our own natural resources, to regenerate our ability to have enough electricity to do the things we want to do, for national security and for economic security purposes. And we are totally aligned in Ontario with that type of thinking. And so there's an awful lot of things that we can do together, and we're already developing those relationships for after the election, whether they are with Democrats or Republicans. There is a consistency of economic thinking vis-a-vis the way the world has changed, vis-a-vis China, and our ability to kind of grow a North American economy together. There will be worries. There are worries about Mexico. There are worries about tariffs and the likes, but we can work through them.
I've got just about 30 seconds left. When you say national security and China and resources, and you mentioned this, I think critical minerals right away. How important are our critical minerals to securing the economic partnership with the U.S. of the future?
Well, we have to replace what is currently coming from Asia. And we have everything in the ground in Ontario that is needed to do that. I spent a good part of the latter part of my career in the auto sector helping to develop a lot of those things right here, in Canada. And so helping to do that together is a really practical and positive thing. And it's something that our colleagues in the business community, whether it's finance, I'm on the Hill tomorrow with people from pension funds from Canada. We had the auto sector down here this week. We're all talking about the future.
Okay, I'm going to leave it on that note. You hit 30 seconds perfectly. Mr. Paterson, appreciate it as always. Thanks for your time.
Great to see you, Vassy.